pretty good size oak rounds. And put a tape on them here so see what they measure. $26, $26. Not the biggest I've ever worked with, but I'll tell you, it's not something you'd want to pick up and have to put on a splitter. Hey Clifford, how you doing, buddy? Huh? You happy to be out in the wood yard? Hey everyone, welcome back to Old Guy Firewood. My name is Dick, and today we're going to do a little experiment with some big rounds. And I know on Back 40 Firewood on Dan's live stream Friday night, there was quite a bit of discussion, and particularly in the chat, about if you're working with real big wood, what's better, a vertical splitter or a horizontal splitter with a box wedge. And fortunately I've got one of each here, so we're going to do a little bit of an experiment with these rounds. And the answer really has a lot to do with what you're trying to produce, what your end product's going to be, how much time you have, how physically fit you are, can you go all day long if you have to wrestle things around. You know, all these things come into play. So we're going to talk about those. And what I'm going to do, I've got one round staged over on the axis on the log lift. I've got one here on the 22-28 with box wedge on the log lift. And I'm going to start them up. I'm going to start with the box wedge. I'm going to go ahead and time how long it takes to split this round. Try to get, you know, uniform piece. Typically what I would cut for recreational wood or bundle wood. And then we'll do the same thing on the axis with the same size round. And as we do it, we'll talk a little bit about you know, what you have to be doing to use one and the other. And after that, have a little discussion about how I feel, and hopefully it'll give you some insight into what kind of choice you need to make if you're looking at buying a new splitter and you don't know whether to go vertical or horizontal. And we're more specifically talking right now about big wood, big rounds. So stick with me, and we'll get going, and we'll do this little test and see how it turns out. Okay, we've got one round loaded on the log lift here on the 22-28. And over here, we've got a round loaded on the log lift on the axis. I'm going to put you on the tripod over here at the 22-28, and we'll go ahead and split this round up, and we'll time how long it takes and take a look at the pieces of wood that we get out of the process. Well, I don't know how it is where you guys are, all the rest of you, but the pollen here is absolutely ridiculous this year. It's all over everything. Okay, we'll go ahead and start the clock. Notice that once I get the log up in the cradle, not a whole lot of physical effort that needs to take place. May need to rearrange it a little bit like this. side pieces need to be resplit. Okay, got a couple more pieces here. Let me get them through. Add that time on. One minute and 49 seconds to split that round up. Okay, now the one thing you notice about the box wedge is once you get that round up in the cradle, very little physical labor in processing that round on through the box wedge. It's all hydraulic levers at that point. Up the conveyor into this IBC tote over here. And that's the wood we got out of one round. Good size. Good recreational size. Good bundle wood size. Now let's take a look at the axis. All right, now the time and effort to get the round onto the log lift is the same whether you're doing it with the axis or if you're doing it with a 2228. You can roll it manually, roll it, get it on the log lift. Now we'll see what the effort and time is from that point on. Go ahead and start this up and let it warm up. Start the timer. All right, now at this point where I just had to roll it into the cradle on the 2228, I do have to manhandle it a little bit. Get it over here to the splitter. More labor involved, obviously, moving around on the deck. splits, be very precise. too short. Okay, there you have it. Check the time. Six minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, well, one thing is obvious. The time it takes to split with the vertical is substantially longer than the horizontal box wedge. 6 minutes, what I say, 6 minutes and some seconds, and a minute and 49 seconds on the box wedge. The other thing with the vertical is you're handling the wood a whole lot more, physically touching it, moving it, lining it up, splitting it, and moving it, whereas with the box wedge, once you have it up in the cradle, it's all pushing levers. Forward through the box, the pullback arm brings the round back, drops it in the tray, and sends it on through. You don't use much energy. So obviously much faster. Now, let's take a look at the splits. The rest of these splits are extremely clean, very precisely cut, and basically no scrap or waste associated with the splitting process. The box wedge, on the other hand, we did have a little scrap here under the splitting table, under the conveyor, and a little bit of scrap here off the grizzly bars, but not too bad. The size of the splits are not anywhere near as consistent as they are off the vertical splitter, off the axis. You have some real small pieces, you have some larger pieces, all acceptable, but you know, there is some small stuff like this that you get just due to the nature of the box wedge. So what did you think? When it comes to big wood, I like to do a process where you handle it as little as you possibly can. And the box wedge and the 22-28 really fit the bill. No physical effort. Once you get it on the log lift, you get it up there, it's all movement of levers, and it's split and out of the way. It's much faster, 1:49 versus over 6 minutes on the axis. If you're producing a lot of bulk wood, definitely the box wedge, in my opinion, is the way to go. You can run it all day without getting tired out. If you have your round staged, it pumps the wood out very quickly. In 15 minutes, you can put out, 3 times as much, more than that, wood as you can 15 minutes on this one. So, yeah, the box wedge is the way that I prefer to go. And the splits are, while they aren't as uniform as you have on the axis, on the vertical splitter, they're still acceptable. So, again, it depends what you're trying to produce, how much physical effort you want to put into it, how much time you have, and if you're looking for that perfect value-added high-end bundle wood where it's all 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares, then the axis is the way to go. If you're not that particular, and if you're doing bundle wood and bulk wood, box wedge is the way to go. Down below, leave a comment on what you think. I'm all for fast production, less effort, and but I like the axis for bundle wood, and when I'm splitting bundle wood just for bundles, I'll tend to do it on here. But leave a comment below, tell me what you think. Really appreciate you watching this video. As I always say, be sure and hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and check if you are subscribed, or you think you are. Check and make sure you still are, because I've had some people that were subscribed that got dropped off by YouTube somehow. And leave a comment below. And until the next video, keep moving, and we'll see you then.